Good morning. I'm so happy to be with you. It's 8 o'clock Pacific in California. And I'm Candace Mae with Candace Mae Training and Services. And today I just want to check in, see how you're doing. There's always so much going on in life. And I am hoping as we take this next few minutes just to get to know each other better, that you will leave here thinking differently than when you started watching. So whether you're live or watching on replay, thanks for being here. If you want to leave a message in the comments, if I can see it, I will respond to you. So thanks for being here. Today, though, let's really talk about how are you, really? How are things going in your life? I know the world is in such a chaotic time right now that have you ever had feelings that overwhelm you and you go, what is happening here? Is this my feeling? Or is this doesn't feel like my normal self? Is it maybe you're pulling in feelings from the larger mass consciousness of the world, of the community that you're in? It happens. And if you're feeling sad or distressed, my heart goes out to you. It's difficult. And I know yesterday I woke up and I had that sense of, I don't really want to say dread, but it was sort of a heavier feeling. And I just did my devotions and clicked on some positive messages, podcasts, and so forth. And I was able to switch my mood in an instant. So I want to remind you, as your feelings will come and go, you're not defined by your feelings. So know that. Know that you are more than your feelings. Know that your integrity is more important and your consistency in showing up. So some mornings I may not want to show up here on Facebook Live, but I've told you I'll be here at 8 o'clock every Monday morning. So I'm here, and I'm here to encourage you and hope that you have a bright week. I have been working on my book. I have to get it to my editor by October 4th. She was packed up until October 4th. I had one run through by someone, and now I'm going through and filtering it. And so this morning I was working on refining the book, making sure things were clear. And it was so exciting to me. I can't wait for my book to come live. I was even toying if I should read some of it to you because it's so fun. Well, I'm a learner, so I love learning, so I find it fun. But what were some of the things we were talking about? I was talking about our brain and how our brain works with the amygdala and the reptilian brain and the limbic system, and that probably sounds really boring to you. But when we realize how our bodies are designed to function on our behalf and how we emotionally react to things, and we have belief systems that are hanging out here that we react to, and how much opportunity we see, and somebody next to us might be in the same situation and see a whole lot more of opportunity, and we just don't see it. And it could be because of our upbringing and the subconscious belief systems that we have that are buried within us. And so we often, always, have to have somebody enlighten us, someone to point out our blind spots. And it's hard. Not everybody wants to know their blind spots. But when you do know your blind spots, you first become aware, and then you can start to challenge those belief systems. And then you get into that process and you start to grow, and you start to stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone like a rubber band. And what happens? All of a sudden you're insecure and you're not sure what you're doing. Oh my gosh, what's happening? Because you're doing something new for the first time. And so you're being stretched like the rubber band. And that confusion is okay, because as you work through that confusion, you break through into a stronger new belief system, which makes you suddenly aware of all kinds of opportunities you didn't see before. And you look around and you go, wow, that's been available to me all this time, and I just couldn't see it. Why is that? Why is that? Because your level of awareness was very low. in that regard. And you can have a high level of awareness in one area of your life and a lower level of awareness in another area of your life. And understanding how our body reacts really quickly to things that stimulate us or so take, for instance, you're talking to somebody, you're having a conversation with them. They talk, you listen, then you have a chance to respond to them. But all of a sudden, they say something and it triggers a thought in you and your mind goes off here in right direction. And you've left the conversation. You are no longer engaged with this person, though you're looking at them and you're smiling and nodding. Your mind is racing off in 100 different directions. And while it's racing in those other directions, you're not really hearing anything this person is saying. So by the time they take a breath to talk, you come back with your comments and so forth, and you're in a completely different thought stream maybe. Maybe they've said things or was headed into another direction, but you missed their turn because you reacted to their first part. So it's really important that most business problems are really people problems. And people problems really come down to communication problems. So working on developing your communication, working on knowing yourself first and foremost, and how you're designed and how your brain and your values and your thinking and your learning processes, there's a powerful awareness when you can begin to see how you function and your habits, and then you can begin to be aware and tune into how other people function, and that becomes so powerful. And when you begin to have that awareness, you begin to start to see the body sensations that are happening when you get angry or when you get frustrated, you're getting triggered by something. All of a sudden you can sense it in your body and you go, oh, wait, stop. You can put your mind on pause while you regroup. And so you don't have to react like a knee-jerk reaction to them. You now have been able to take those 30 seconds and actually compose yourself and respond in a kinder way. And I think all the things that are happening in our world right now, we really need more communication, better communication, more listening, more cognitive thinking. I think as people, we become sheep and we follow the masses, and we don't always take the time to think through processes. Somebody can say something to us and maybe they're just making statements. They're not backing it up with logic or facts. And when we ask them to back it up with logic and facts, they get mad. I think we have a responsibility to hold each other accountable in a loving way. And some people don't want to be held accountable and they get angry. So that's what I know. I know families come together, and sometimes the families come together and they're only coming together because of a crisis. And they get through that crisis, or they may get through that crisis together and grow stronger together because they work through the battle or the pain together, or they fight and are at odds with each other. But when we have struggles in families and neighbors and friends, those struggles can actually draw us closer together and make us stronger as individuals and stronger in our relationship, as long as we're willing to communicate and talk and be open to introspecting our own selves and our own behavior. We don't have to be so harsh. And our first reaction is to put up our barriers and put up walls around us because we don't want to hear what somebody has to say. We don't want our blind spots pointed out. But how do you become better? And when you become better, your team around you becomes better. Your family becomes better. Your workplace becomes better. But only when you really engage in that process of learning your style of communicating, their style of communicating. We all have inherent fears based on our communication and behavior style, is how we're hardwired. And when we understand each other's personality core and their behavior challenges and their biggest fears, we can package things differently. so that we're accommodating them in a way that meets them where they are and encourages them to grow. It becomes very powerful versus um, just telling you the way I want it to be told. Because for me, I'm a very outgoing person, very people oriented, right? I can be task oriented, but I have a lot of outgoing and people oriented. Somebody else who is not is outgoing as me. They're more reserved, but we could trigger each other easily if we're not communicating, if we don't understand each other's needs. So I think that's the power of getting to know the different personalities and styles and how you present well and how to connect. So this is what I know for today. It's going to be a short conversation because I'm really anxious to get back to my book, back to editing my book. And then I have several client appointments today. And I hope that you have an awesome week. I do offer laser coaching, 15-minute call, complimentary. If you need me, reach out. You can instant private message me and we can coordinate a time to connect and have an awesome week. Have an awesome week. My website is CandaceMae.com, where you can also see my calendar and all the things that I stand for. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again. Bye-bye.